Hello everyone and welcome to a little late night video. The reason I'm making this is because of urgent 10.0.5 news concerning Feral Druid and some pretty significant changes to the class tree and also to the spec tree. So don't panic, there might be some good stuff in there, might be some less good stuff, we gotta kind of wait and see. But basically 10.0.5 PTR is now live, the servers are currently down, but they should be up by the morning, hopefully. And all of the information is now coming through and Blizzard has made a blue post concerning a lot of the details. 10.0.5 should be quite a minor patch, probably hitting in January or February. So quite soon, probably after the race toward first, definitely, hopefully, unless the race goes on for a month. But there's going to be other stuff coming through, like trading post and being able to transmog like gray and white items and that kind of thing. So that's cool, but we are going to focus on the Feral Druid changes that are coming through at the moment. They are subject to change. We will see. It'll be based on your guys' feedback and people like myself as well. Before I get into that, I want to let you guys know that there are Mythic Plus videos coming. I know you guys are asking about talents and all that kind of stuff, so those are coming. I've just been very busy because I'm casting for Method in the race toward first at the minute, and just spending a lot of my time right now just streaming me doing Mythic Plus because it's really vital to get into that right now. But videos will come. I'm a bit of a feely crafter, I'm not a theory crafter, so a lot of the stuff I like to actually just play myself and see how I feel. So those videos are coming, talents will be coming, but come check out the stream and feel free to ask your questions. I'll do my best to answer that stuff. But that's what I've been doing. If you want to check out my casting schedule for Method, just check in the description below. I'll have a link to a tweet for that for you. But, right, so there are some Druid class tree changes. I'll kind of go lightning speed through these, but basically, in fact, maybe if I put this like here, and if I do that for you. So all Druids now learn Swipe at level 10, so that's going to probably no longer be a talent. And then you have Swipe and Brutal Slash damage reduced by 50%. Boo-hoo, oh no. Except now there's a new talent, which is going to improve Swipe and Brutal Slash damage by 100%. So actually going to gain some damage there. It'll probably go in that position. Killer Instinct is now going to be a 2-point node, not a 3-point node, but is still going to be 6% damage ultimately. They're doing some Boomkin change stuff, magic damage there. Forest Walk, when you cast Regrowth, you gain some movement speed and healing receive, which is kind of cool. That'll be still good for us as Feral if it's in a good place. Typhoon is getting some power, increased radius and range, and also a reduction in Typhoon. You then have a new connection between Rake and Rip. I don't really think that does much, but okay. I guess in theory you could skip Thrash and these, which you never would. But okay. Good to know. New connection between Maim and Tireless Pursuit. Again, I don't know why you'd ever want that, but it's there. New connection between Skullbash and Primal Fury and Matted Fur. So here, again, I don't know why you would ever want to skip Feline Swiftness, but I guess it allows a quicker way through the tree so you can save talent points elsewhere and put them somewhere else as well. New connection between Verdant Heart and Iron Fur. This probably just makes it easier for Boomkins and Resto Druids to get more defensives without having to go anything Feral related, which just really kind of buffs them, I think, but okay. Wild Growth moved up and Remove Curse moved to the side. We'll have to see what that ends up looking like. Improved Rejuvenation moved up the tree. Okay. Sunfire moved up and Star Surge moved to the side. So, not really sure how that's going to look either, but okay. And then Ferals now start with Rip instead of Thrash. So, I guess Rip is going there, and maybe Thrash is going there. I don't know how that works. Start with Rip instead of Thrash. Oh, okay, right. So we have these two talented. This won't already be talented, so you could, yeah, in theory, just skip those. Okay. Focusing more so, I mean, those are some good changes. We'll see, probably still need some more work there, but I kind of want to focus this video a bit on the Feral changes specifically. But yeah, I mean, generally, that might make some decisions for us a bit easier to get to, some things on the tree a bit easier to get through. Probably needs some more work, some more iteration, but it's nice that they're condensing a few points down. At the same time, they're adding a bunch of stuff. Like, this is still a 3-point node. I believe there's... I think that's the only other 3-point node. There's this one, and this one. I think that's all of them. So it's still pretty heavy to get through the tree, really. Could probably do with still moving some stuff around, but I think, you know, that's better than nothing. We also then have some Feral stuff here. So, Circle of Life and Death damage, overtime duration, compression, reduced to 20%, was 25%. So this will mean that your bleeds will now do their effect in 20% less time, not 25% less time. So this will technically be a nerf to, well, just all of your bleeds, but also a nerf to, like, I guess, Apex procs, because they're going to be that 5% longer now, right? So not really the end of the world, but just a little tweak here. Taste for blood bonus to ferocious bite damage increased to 4 and 8% per bleed on the target, was 2 and 4. 4 and 8 was 2 and 4. So taste for blood here. This was, so some of you may have heard about this like curse single target build where you would basically get Primal Wrath. You would go something like this where you would take Rampant and Tear, so you could basically get down the tree quicker, more effectively. You wouldn't have to spend 2 points here and 2 points here. So basically save you 2 talent points, and it would mean that you had Primal Wrath instead, and it meant that you had more talent points further down the tree. Whereas now, with that buff, hopefully, Taste of Blood is quite a strong thing that you want to take in single target, and potentially, really, maybe an AoE as well, which will make things quite interesting. You'll probably have some bigger decisions to be made now. Maybe you can move away from, like, rake spreading, and you can say, like, right, I'm either going to be heavy biting and apexing and rampant ferocity, doing all my damage from that, or I'm going to be more of a rake spreader, but with the nerfs to some of these bleeds, that might, you know, edge out the rake spreading. It'll probably depend on mob densities and things like that, but for pure single target, that'll definitely be a big change there, and should hopefully make this a desired choice. Rampant ferocity damage increased to 35%. Of ferocious bite damage was 25%. So they've really been moving this ability around, which I think is good, because this is a really good tuning knob to use, to either put that up and down depending on how bite is performing. So clearly they want it to do a bit more damage in AoE. I think that's probably fine. I mean, if you look at a breakdown of my damage from an Algathar Academy that I did earlier today, I mean, RIP is doing 26.6, plus 8.8, plus 8%, plus 4.6%. Like, RIP is doing a lot of my damage, and then compare that to 8.8% and 5.3% of bite damage. It's probably okay that, you know, you throw in a little bit of a buff to bites there. It's probably not the end of the world. Evens things out a little bit. It'll probably change some mob density stuff where biting is a lot more value on a certain mob density, and then bleed damage is better in another mob density. We'll see. Dreadful beating bonus to rip damage reduced to 15% was 20%, so they've nerfed kind of rip damage as a whole by a bit. In the grand scheme of the full spectrum of your damage, this will probably only be a couple, you know, a small percent nerf. But it's just chipping away at those bleeds a little bit. Infected wounds bonus to rake damage reduced to 25% was 30%. So again, rake's taking a little bit of a hit here, but when you look at like overall rake damage breakdown, it is, I mean, that's quite low as well, actually. This could be a lot more, and in many keys that is a lot more. I'd say that's actually quite low currently for where rake could be. But yeah, so a little bit of a hit there to the rake damage. Vein Ripper increased to bleed durations to 33% was 25%. So this is going to emphasize more bite play and playing around Rampant Ferocity. If your bleeds are up longer, your Primal Wraths in AoE, your rips are up longer, that means you can fit more bites in before you hit that window where you need to reapply a Primal Wrath for your toe damage. So this leans into that. Also, on single target, it just leans into more bites in general. So you're getting this buff to Taste for Blood, you're getting this buff to Vein Ripper. It means you're applying your bleeds less often. They're ticking down in less, or they're ticking down in more time. So if you had like Circle plus Vein Ripper, or you know, didn't have Circle and had Vein Ripper, you'd be biting a lot there. Lunar Inspiration damage increased by 66%. They just nerfed it by 40%, and now they buffed it by 66%. So I don't really know why they've done, like, you know, what this is about here. But I guess it's because it's also going to be moved on the tree to now be a choice node with Feral Frenzy. So that's quite interesting. It'll probably be a case of burst single target compared to extended single target damage slash being able to Lunar Inspiration or Moonfire like 2 mobs, compared to being only able to Feral Frenzy 1. So it might be more of a case of like, or maybe you have 2 targets quite far away from each other. You're attacking one boss, but there's a mob, there's another one 20 feet away, and you want to still be able to hit that. So that might be kind of the decision making there. Tear Open Wounds moved to row 4. So Tear Open Wounds has been moved up a row. I would imagine it's probably moved here it makes the tree look a little bit cuter, and it would probably make sense leaning into this AoE style section here. So I imagine it goes there, but unconfirmed at the moment. Survival Instincts and Infected Wounds move to row 5. So these two have moved into this row, which, you know, not sure exactly where, like, Infected Wounds might go there, and Survival Instincts, I don't know, gets slotted around. We'll see where that goes exactly. I think it's probably going to be Survival Instincts here and Infected Wounds here. The thought process is that Berserk is moving to row 6. So if Berserk comes down a row, Survival goes up 2 rows, Tear Open goes up here, Infected goes here. That probably would make sense. And then you have Moment of Clarity move to row 7. So let me track my rows again. 3, 4, 5, 6. So Moment of Clarity then is going to come down here. So I imagine it would replace Survival Instincts and go here. That would make the most sense. And then Heart of the Lion and Berserk Frenzy moved within row 7 and connections changed. So they are currently on row 7 already. They've just moved them somewhere. So I don't know if they're real, but they've not moved the other talents in the row. So I don't know how that's going to look exactly. Kind of interesting because the connections have changed as well. So we'll have to see how that's going to look. Honestly, no idea what they might do with that. And then Position of Wild Slashes and Brutal Strike swapped in their choice node. I assume Brutal Strike is Brutal Slash, and obviously Wild Slash is there. So swapping those doesn't actually do anything on a choice node. Maybe what they meant to say is that this choice node and this choice node are swapping places. But then where are Frenzy and Heart of the Lion going? If they're still within row 7? I don't know. So we have to see how that's going to play out as well. PTR should hopefully be up tomorrow. So first thing in the morning, I'm going to be live. Well, I'm casting for Method in the morning, and then I'll be live like ASAP around 11 a.m. my time, UK time, so 12 o'clock CET. I'll be live to go through PTR if the servers are up, and I'll be looking at this more in depth. I think overall, it's probably a bit too early to tell if this is like a nerf or a buff at the moment. Some things getting nerfed, some things getting buffed. So it'll probably be like in certain environments we've increased in damage, in certain environments we've lost a bit of damage. I think in single target, it probably equates to a net gain. But I don't know how strong Lunar Inspiration is going to be now comparable to Feral Frenzy. And if that ultimately can... results in a net gain there. I mean, Taste for Blood gain, okay. Yeah, but we're losing a bit of potential Rake. We're definitely losing Rip damage. We're losing a bit of Circle damage there. So, interesting. But we might be able to skip certain things. Like, I don't know, we might be able to skip certain abilities now because of this. That then results in us getting more damage because of a different talent that we can take that we didn't take before. So that might kind of end up benefiting us there. We're going to have to see how the whole tree ends up looking. But I just wanted to make this quick video for you guys to have a quick heads up of changes coming. There have also been some other specs that have been nerfed as well. I'll link this in the description of the video, so feel free to take a look. Remember, this is subject to change. Let's not panic and all that kind of stuff yet, and let's also maybe not celebrate yet. We'll see how things end up. One really important thing is that Guardians have just gotten Innovate can now be cast in bear form, which is really insulting because it's like, well, if you know that it's a problem for bears, why isn't it also a problem for ferals? So things like that, it would be like, come on, Blizz, come on, help us out there. But yeah, those are the changes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one.